Hello and welcome to Mangatora 96, and today we're going to talk about High School DxD. It's time to talk about the other two male members of the Grammar Peerage besides Issa, who deserve some spotlight on themselves, with them being a handsome swordsman with a tragic past and a shy cross-dressing dumper who can turn into a monster. In this video I will cover their personalities, their past, their sacred gear powers, as well as some important relationships they have. But before we start, here's the spoiler warning, as we'll be spoiling a lot of things in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would highly recommend that you go and read the light novel, as it is an enjoyable read. For everyone else, let's start with an overview on who Kiba is. Yuto Kiba is a third-year high school student at Ko Academy in class 3B, and the school's pretty boy who is adored by many female students and hated by other male students. He is Rias's knight and the vice president of the Occult Research Club. Kiba is overall an upbeat person and cares deeply for his comrades. He is also a very polite and friendly individual, even considering Issa's initial dislike towards him. As a knight, he has pride, chivalry, dignity and honor befitting one, and is shown to enjoy fighting fellow swordsmen like Carlamina. Initially, he had a deep hatred towards the Holy Swords or their wielders, but the efforts of the Occult Research Club members during Volume 3 and the souls of his deceased friends who died earlier being victims of the Holy Sword project helped him overcome his drive for vengeance, making him more accepting of the Holy Swords. Kiba considers Issa to be his best friend, but also feels a sense of rivalry with him, wishing to one day fight him fair and square. At the same time, he also shows deep concern for his well-being, desiring to avenge Issa after his death in Volume 11 and only stopping himself due to promising to protect the girls of the club in his stead. Kiba is very loyal to Rias as her knight, calling himself Rias Grammary's sword, while also thinking of her as his own older sister. He did not hesitate in joining Rias's team for the Azazel Cup, even with the possibility of eventually facing Issa, taking it as a chance to settle their rivalry and swearing to not hold back against him. Kiba is surprisingly a lecher himself, as commented by Issa in Volume 4. As for his past, originally an orphan named Isaiah, Kiba was taken in by the church and was chosen to be part of a project called the Holy Sword Project under the supervision of Valper Galileo, but when the project failed to show merit, Valper's decision to eliminate them as failures was directly responsible for the deaths of his friends and all other participants, resulting in Kiba developing extreme antagonism against holy swords, especially Excalibur. After successfully escaping the facility with the help of his friends, he finally succumbed to the poison he inhaled. Lying on the ground, he was in his dying moments when he was found and was reincarnated by Rias as her servant devil. During his initial days as Rias' servant, he was distrustful of her and all those related to her. He later practiced his swordsmanship under Soji Okita, who was the first person he opened up to. One day, when giving tribute to his deceased friends, he was confronted by a stray devil and fought a hard battle until his master Okita came to rescue him. After this event, he finally began trusting devils, opening up to Rias and taking upon the name Rias thought of specifically for him, Kiba Yuto. As for his relationship with Rias, Kiba is very grateful towards his master Rias for saving him after he died from the project called the Holy Sword Project. Being faithful to his status as a knight, Kiba is very loyal to Rias and calls himself Rias Grammary's sword. While he sees her as an elder sister, he doesn't feel comfortable calling her Onechan, despite Rias wanting him to. After Rias' graduation ceremony, Kiba begins to address Rias as Rias Neisan. As for his ability and sacred gear powers, Kiba is a swordsman of incredible skill. In addition to his speed, he can dominate most of his opponents. Due to his training with his swordsmaster from scratch, Tsubaki considers him Rias' ace instead of Issa. Kiba defeated Freed, who turned into a chimera, and gained the traits of Diodora's two knights without getting serious. His regular sparring sessions with Issa allowed him to even fight against one of Fenrir's sons alongside the others. After Siegfried defeated him, Kiba trains his skills harder to where he could match him in a rematch and defeat him despite empowering himself. He can fight against stronger opponents such as Ewald, a swordsmaster who can wield all Excalibur's abilities at the same time. His skills improved to where he could perform one of the Teinerishi Ryu techniques. After training with Vasco Strada, he could outclass Biko, the current Monkey King, then held his own against Issa in pseudo-dragon deification. Sword Birth is Yuto's primary weapon and sacred gear. It has the ability to create numerous demon swords, each with its own attributes and properties at his disposal, such as the Holy Eraser and Flame Delete. The blades of those swords can also emerge from any surface with Yuto's limited area. Blade Blacksmith is his second sacred gear and is the holy version of Sword Birth, which Yuto had achieved after gaining his irregular balance breaker. Being the counterpart of Sword Birth, he can create numerous holy swords with different attributes. And lastly, Glory Drag Troopers, which is Yuto's subspecies balance breaker, which creates an army of Dragoon Knights who wield holy swords able to imitate his speed and technique, where the latter wasn't possible until the Evil Dragon War. He cannot use both Sword or Betrayer and Glory Drag Trooper at the same time. All of those knights often wield his other demon swords aside from Gram. Yuto can also equip armor worn by his Dragon Knights, protect his body, or trick his opponents by hiding in the army. Moving on to Gasper. Gasper Vladi is a cross-dressing male dumper, a half vampire, half human, but was turned into a demon by Rias. He has the ability to stop time and is Rias' first bishop. Because his powers were uncontrollable prior to the series, he was sealed in the academy by Rias and was not seen again until volume 4 of the light novel. He is a second-year high school student at Ko Academy alongside Koneko and Travel. He is the possessor of one of the 5 newly manifested Longinus, Ion Balor, which evolved from the sacred gear Forbidden Balor's View. Originally a coward and a shut-in with a very shy personality, Gasper likes to wear female clothing, claiming that girls' clothes were cute. He also has a penchant for boxes, carrying one with him all the time. When Issa tried to give Gasper confidence, the former gave Gasper a paper bag to put over the latter's face, where Issa comments that whenever Gasper puts the paper bag on, the latter looks like a molester. As the series progresses, with Issa's and Gramarye's group encouragement, Gasper begins to gain confidence and bravery. When necessary, Gasper has displayed the ability to force down his timid nature and speak up as a man. On more than one occasion, he has demonstrated extreme courage and loyalty, going so far as to be beaten to unconsciousness in defense of his weakened comrades. While using Forbidden Invade Balor the Beast, Gasper adopts a very different personality due to the influence of Balor's personality. This being is both Gasper yet not him and both Balor yet not Balor. In this form, Gasper is decidedly more aggressive to go with his powers, having darkness devour his opponents either with indifference or pure malice, where he admits he would never hurt his friends and is still himself to the point he recognizes them as such. He still respectfully calls Issa his senpai and would flat out destroy his enemies if they harm his comrades, such as Issa or Valerie. Gasper's own poor feelings towards the pure-blooded vampire also shine through, with him daring them to show their power against him before proving himself vastly superior to them and eating them. As for his past, Gasper was born between the vampire lord Vlad and a human mother, the latter of whom died shortly after giving birth to Gasper, who was born as a mask of darkness which accidentally cursed his mother and several servants to death. Between the incredible fear of Gasper's true form from the higher-ups, his uncontrollable sacred gear, the Forbidden Balor View, and people's general prejudice towards the half-breed, Gasper grew up in isolation and abuse. He would meet Valerie Tepesh and they would often play together, Valerie forcing Gasper to dress up as a girl, which would lead to his cross-dressing habit. One day, Gasper worked up his courage to try to escape from the castle with Valerie's help and was shortly thereafter killed by a vampire hunters. Rias, who was in the area at the time, came upon the boy by chance and taking pity on him reincarnated him as one of her servants using her bishop mutated piece. When Rias moved to Japan and took her servants with her, she was forced to keep Gasper inside of a sealed room in the Occult Research Club, first floor, to contain his power. While Gasper was given the choice to be able to leave at night, due to the circumstances of his past, he had developed severe acrophobia, so he chose to remain sealed permanently. As for his sacred gear powers, the evil eye that stops the world, which is Gasper's sacred gear that has the ability to stop the time of anything he's willed of you. After drinking Issa's blood, Gasper's control over his vampire powers increased and allowed him to use his sacred gear powers through the eyes of his bats. It is later revealed that the Irish evil god Balor had part of his consciousness attached to Gasper's sacred gear due to the influence of Valerie's Sephiroth Graal losing his divinity but allowing Gasper to tap into his powers via his forbidden invite Balor the Beast. It was revealed that Gasper's forbidden Balor view was officially recognized as one of the 5 newly manifested Longinus and subsequently renamed into Ion Balor, also known as the Evil-Eyed King who dominates the space and time. Shadow Beast, master of the Forbidden Night and True Darkness, is Gasper's X-Side balance breaker. It creates an enormous amount of darkness that can engulf a whole town and devour everything, while also covering Gasper's body and transforming him into a 5-meter tall monster with a dragon's head, arms with claws and wings growing from the back. While this large area of darkness is activated, Gasper can generate twisted monsters from it to attack opponents, as well as multiple eyes through which he can use Forbidden Balor view to stop multiple targets at the same time. His darkness has also shown the ability to infect wounds and prevent regeneration as strong as the provided by the Longinus Sephiroth Graal. Forbidden Invade Balor the Beast is considered to be a balance break, yet different from one at the same time, and its power has the potential to make Gasper's Forbidden Balor view the 14th Longinus Great Sacred Gear. As for his relationship with Issa, when Gasper and Issa first met, Issa thought that he was another girl and was shocked after learning that he was a cross-dressing boy. Issa became determined to help Gasper despite the latter's extreme cowardness. Issa often reprimanded him for being a shut-in, although he and Gasper quickly became great friends and Issa trains him as his junior. Gasper appears to feel at ease the most in Issa's presence. Issa's blood gives Gasper a boost in power, even allowing him more control over his sacred gear for a short time. When Issa died in Volume 11, he, unlike the other members in the Grammary team, became very enraged and defeated George afterwards after revealing his raw power. With this, I covered everything that I wanted to cover on both Kiba and Gasper. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews and One Piece content. And until next time, take care.